Howdy, my name is Rebecca White, and I'm Vice President of Operations for Qaulitas Health, and we're the makers of Iwi, a line of food and nutrition products, and we're based out of Houston, Texas. And today I'm going to talk to you about algae agriculture. So a brief history of Qaulitas. We were founded in 2012. We started operations in 2013, and we reached commercial scale in 2015. And from there, we launched our brands, including our national brand, Iwi, which you can find at stores nationwide and on Amazon. And our first products are a set of omega-3 supplements, which are good for heart health, brain health, immune health, and overall health and wellness. We farm algae in open ponds, and during this course you've heard about lots of different ways to grow algae, everything from closed systems using carbon inputs like sugar, to closed systems using light, closed systems using both sugar and light, and open ponds. And we chose open ponds because we want to grow commodity-style products such as omega-3s and proteins. And for us, open ponds require lower cost inputs. They're less complex, they require less instrumentation, and most importantly, they have significant overlap with traditional agriculture, which means that we can borrow very heavily from traditional agriculture to move algae forward as a new crop. The other reason that we chose open ponds is it gives us a farm model that can be implemented in many places around the world, which helps us to solve global food insecurity issues. Here is our flagship farm in Imperial, Texas. We have 360 acres and 55 of those are operational, so that's how many acres of algae that we grow. Our second farm is in Columbus, New Mexico, which is about 90 miles west of El Paso and just above the Mexico border. We have 900 acres there, 110 of which are operational. So why have we been successful now in growing algae in open ponds? We've concentrated very significantly, as I said, on combining commercial crop production methods with the decades and decades of research from the algae industry. And this crossover has allowed us to produce a set of unique products from an algae called Qaulitas that's never been grown at scale outdoors before. And we do this by applying agronomic practices from traditional agriculture to farming algae. We tweak those just a little bit since algae is not a soil-based crop, but the basic categories are the same. So we manage chemistry of the growth medium, things like nutrient levels, water management. We concentrate on nutrient utilization, but for us that includes CO2 use efficiency. We work on pond operation, which is similar to when do you till the soil. For us, it's when do you harvest, how deep do you keep the ponds, how much mixing do you have. And then for harvesting, density management is very important. So when do you harvest and how all of these things relate to each other, and then how all of that relates to seasonality and then crop protection. And it turns out that the key to growing algae at scale outdoors is really crop protection. And because of this, we've borrowed an important principle from agriculture, which is integrated pest management. And the basic idea of integrated pest management is that you do everything that you can to be proactive versus reactive. And the result of that is you use less chemicals and you get higher productivities and lower costs. And this is really important, particularly for algae, because we don't have access to chemical pesticides, herbicides, or insecticides, and we're left with managing things like water chemistry, with depth, with harvest timing, and with physical controls like filtering. So it's very, very important that we're able to rapidly identify pests, including weed algae, grazers, things that eat algae, and diseases. And so the ability to rapidly identify those and respond to them is the key to growing algae at scale outdoors. The other thing the other reason that we chose to grow Qaulitas in particular is because we want to do commodities, and Qaulitas is a very versatile algae. And what I'm showing on the screen here are the many different products that you can get from a single amount of biomass. So you can take that biomass, it can be used directly for a food or feed ingredient, And for feed, we know that it has beneficial implications for fish, for chicken, for pigs, for cattle, and also for pets. It can be used as a soil amendment to improve other agricultural crop commodities. Or at the top, you can break it into its parts. You can extract the oil and then use that oil, which is the omega-3 oil that I mentioned earlier, and take that into supplements or ingredients. And then from the leftover biomass, you get protein and carbohydrates. The protein can be a human or animal food ingredient. And then the carbohydrates can be used for materials such as plastics and inks. So it's a very versatile biomass, and it gives us a process where we have no waste. Everything that we get out of the algae can be used to make something renewable along this supply chain. We are focused, as I said, at iwi, because we make food and nutrition products, on people consuming algae. And there are a number of different things that you can do with that. At the top left, we have our supplements. We are working on cookies and snacks. We're working on ingredients for center of place replacements like burgers. We have some smoothie and shake options. And then we're collaborating with other algae companies on a variety of other foodstuffs. And our hope is that algae will be on every table every day at some time in the very near future. And that's what we do at iwi, which is made by Qaulitas Health. And I really appreciate your time and attention. Thank you very much.